In today's video, let's take a look at how training went over the month of August. Hello, fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather, and I am glad you are here today. This is something that I do every month where I just take a look back at how things have gone in training over the past month. I talk about any races that have taken place, what I have coming up next on the calendar, what's coming up next on the channel, and I drop our monthly Spotify playlist. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of the running content that I have coming out all the time. And we're going to start things off like we always do by taking a look back at the month in training. It is August, so here we are, first full week of August, and we are getting slightly cooler temperatures, which is fantastic. I'm loving it, but today and the rest of this week, it's going to be some more of the training plan. I am super low on energy. I've got a sick kiddo that I'm taking care of, so I'm just doing what I can. I'm having to really just pull myself through every workout. We've got some easy runs that I'm taking super duper easy, and then throwing in some intense speed drills, trying to work my way through those. Talk to my coach. He knows that I'm struggling right now, especially with all the weather. So he says just as long as I'm getting something in every day, then I am good. So that's where we are right now. I am going to be doing a long run, most likely on Friday, because my Saturdays are getting really full. So to make sure that I dedicate enough time to actually running a long run, I'm trying to move it to Friday when I have more time to do this. We're gonna see how things start working out, and hopefully be ready for race on the 17th. But that's where we are for starting off the month. I will catch up with you after the long run. All right, we're back for another week, and let me tell you that last week did not go as well as expected. I was trying to take care of a sick kiddo, take my older kiddo to and from science camp, and it was just super busy, and I had zero energy. My coach ended up giving me an extra day off, so that was helpful. But yeah, I've been really struggling through this last week, just trying to get anything done. But contacted my coach, talked to him, and he said that getting something done is better than nothing. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to shorten the workouts, but still get some quality runs in. And sometimes that's just what you got to do. So that brings us to this week, which is actually a taper week. So one more speed session, mostly some easy runs, an off day before race day, and then finally a trail race, which I don't know if I'm in the best shape for mentally or physically, but I'm gonna do it. I need to do it. I want to do it. So that's where I'm headed this week. Just trying to maintain, to rest, and to mentally prepare myself for the run this weekend. So there will be a video out on that, and I will catch up with you guys after the race. And we're back for another week. So hopefully you have seen the Scorch and Squirrel video by now and know that things did not quite go as planned, but I'm still happy with how things turned out. In the meantime, I am trying to get a slow approach to recovery. So I have taken the first couple of days of this week off, and I'm getting back into it now just by walking, and we're going to very slowly add some running back into it because my quads are still absolutely thrashed. My back is still really tight. So we're gonna figure out what we can do this week, but it's mostly gonna be a lot of run walk, a lot of taking it easy, a lot of easing back into it. My hope is to get into a somewhat long run this weekend, keeping it at around 5 or 6 miles. Nothing crazy, very slow, very controlled. And we're just gonna see how we feel. By the way, if you missed the Scorch and Squirrel wrap up, then it's gonna be up here and down in the description. I'll talk a little bit more about it in that video and a little bit more in just a few minutes here when I talk about my training for this month. But yeah, I'm happy, I'm recovering. I'm gonna talk to my physical therapist and see what else I need to be doing to recover. I'll be back again next week. Last week of the month. Here we are finishing off August. This has been a little bit of a struggle trying to deal with aggravated disc in my lower back and trying to make sure that I can actually still do a trail race. And as you saw, I had to drop down to a lower mileage. And as for this last weekend, eased back into a long run, ended up doing close to 8 miles. So I'm happy. We're gonna build back. We're gonna be awesome. And we're gonna take things easy as far as racing goes, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. As for this week, it's mostly going to be some easy runs along with some fartleks and some conditioning. And we're gonna start very slowly easing into a new training block. And that's all on the way to my next big challenge, fingers crossed. But overall, I mean, could things have gone better? Maybe, but we'll take it inside and talk to you about that next. And so here we are. And like I said, this whole month has really been a struggle dealing with my lower back, which it turns out is the cause of a lot of my hamstring problems I've been dealing with for the past few years. So this has just been an ongoing struggle. And honestly, all of the elevation I was trying to tackle and all the speed I was trying to do to get ready for the elevation just really aggravated things a little bit further. So that's something that I was not counting on happening. It's just something I never really expected over the course of this month. So that's definitely something that I've had to adapt to. I'm still seeing a physical therapist. We're slowing down on how often I have to go see her though, which is great news. So there is some healing that is actually happening. We've been doing some dry needling, some massage, some various exercises to strengthen the lower back and try to get the SI joint back where it's supposed to be. And it's just been a mess. So as I mentioned, Scorch and Squirrel didn't quite go the way that I expected. So let's go ahead and transition into talking about the race for this month. So obviously there was only one race this month, and that was the Scorch and Squirrel Trail Race. And that is one that I do every year at Ferncliff Camp in Little Rock. We're actually just outside of Little Rock. But it was the first trail run that I ever did, and I've been going back to it every year since. Normally, what happens is you go uphill, steep downhill, and then you do loops. And so you can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 loops, and then back up the hill, downhill, into the finish line. So typically I will do 2 loops, but this year I got most of the way through the first loop and just said to myself that my back was just not going to be able to take it. My back was already locking up. There was just no way that I would be able to get through a second loop and live to tell the tale. I would be in serious pain the next day, and I just had too much that was going on and too many people depending on me for me to be out of commission. So I had to make the decision to drop down to just 1 loop. I will say though that if you haven't watched the Scorch and Squirrel wrap up that I did, I'll go ahead and tell you now that I was able to tackle most of that course much faster than I have been able to do in the past. So the actual elevation and everything was not throwing me off. I had a great race. My back just wasn't going to cooperate for a second loop, but I'm very happy with what I did. I set a PR on both the steep uphill and the downhill, and that's huge for me. That's really good. So I definitely consider that a victory. As far as what is going to be coming up next on the race calendar, you heard me mention that I do have a big challenge coming up. I know that I have been pondering doing a couple of races in December and January. However, due to all of the work that I'm trying to do in school right now, I just don't know if a whole lot of travel is going to be possible. So I'm trying to kind of stay close to home at the moment. And so in November, I'm going to be looking again at doing the Sunset Endurance Challenge. That is one that I did last year. I usually sign up for the 24 hour, so I'm going to be doing that again this year. Last year, I made it through 51 miles, and I'm going to see if I can possibly make it to 100K this year. So that is the plan. That is what I am easing back into as far as training goes. And so that's where my mind is right now. So slowing things down and focusing on getting some quality long miles in and making sure that I am ready to handle a 24-hour race again. So I definitely have that on the calendar. I do have some friends that are trying to talk me into doing Little Rock Half Marathon again. I don't know. I may or may not do that. That is close to home, and it is something fun. They've got a great theme this year. They're doing a Mardi Gras theme, so that looks really fun. So that's one that could possibly be on the calendar. We'll have to see. And then, of course, I have my project that I'm going to be doing next October. So that is October 2025. And again, we don't have everything finalized on that, but as soon as it is, I will give more details about that here on the channel. And looking ahead at what's going to be coming up on the channel, you'll notice that I have had to slow my uploads down a bit, but I have been throwing some shorts up there every time that I've been able to get one together. I've been having some fun making those. They're relatively painless to put together, and I don't mind putting those up for you guys. So just so you have something and let you know what's going on with me. Also, I am going to have, like I said, my regular series that I normally do, such as this right here, the monthly update. I also am going to continue with the Run the USA, and so I am going to be covering South Carolina. So if you have any suggestions for South Carolina races, make sure you leave those down in the comments below so I can take a look at them before I finalize the video. And as usual, I'm going to try to have a weekly training video to let you know exactly where I stand in my training, go a little more into detail on the day-to-day, the ins and outs of everything that I'm doing with the training plan, with a coach, and with physical therapy. So if you like a lot more detail than I provide here in these monthly updates, then make sure that you stay tuned for those. And as usual, I am going to be making my yearly trip to DragonCon, because remember, I do like to cover my geeky pursuits on this channel as well. So by the time you watch this video, I am going to be on my way to DragonCon. I'm going to be doing some panels there. Hopefully I will get to record some of those, but at the very least, I'm going to just give you a quick snapshot of everything that I'm doing over the course of the week while I am in Atlanta. So make sure that you stay tuned if you want to see some of the fun there, and that is going to include the Geek Girls Run, which is just a collection of those of us who are at DragonCon who love to run. We all go for a run together and hang out. Super fun. Love doing that every year. So that's some more that you can look forward to on the channel coming up very, very soon. And just like we do every month, I'm going to have a link in the description to a Spotify playlist if you are looking for something new to listen to while you're running. Maybe you're just going out for a short run or a 5K. You just want to find something new. I always put together a Spotify running playlist every single month, usually centered around a theme, so you can check that out down below. There's also going to be a link to everything that has been selected for monthly playlists in the year 2024, all in one gigantic playlist if you are needing a lot new music to listen to. And as usual, I'm going to have a link to Welcome to the Geek Den. This is a running playlist put together by runners just like you. Everybody has suggested songs that they like to run to, and I've been compiling them into one big playlist. So again, if you're looking for something new and want to know what fellow runners are listening to, then check that out. And if you have any suggestions for songs you would like me to add, make sure that you drop those down in the comments below. And for those of you wanting an update on where I am in the Run the Year Challenge, this is where every year I try to run the number of miles that there are in the year. So this year, being 2024, I'm trying to hit 2,024 miles by the end of the year. And as of the recording of this video, I am at 1,404.97 miles. So I am well on my way. I should be on track for getting things done before the end of the year. And in fact, if I maintain the same pace that I am doing right now, then I should be done as early as December 11th. However, I'm going to be adding on some extra miles with some of the training that I'm doing, so I could be done earlier than that. But make sure that you stay tuned to see if I'm able to hit my goal before the end of the year. And that wraps things up for the month of August. So did you find this fun or entertaining? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what you are training for right now. And while you're there, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Just click that button below. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it keeps you up to date on all the content that I have coming out all the time. You could also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thanks so much for joining me again this month. I'm so glad you could be here. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. I'll see you later.